Welcome, Gary. Thank you for your time. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Robert, and thank you for taking time to talk with me. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. Tell us a little bit about your book and how it came about, how you came about writing God's Existence, Truth or Fiction, The Answer Revealed, Gary.
Well, what inspired me to write the book was several things. First of all, uh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you. I had to turn the monitor up here.
Okay.
We're good.
What inspired me, there were three factors that inspired me to write the book. First, I had thoughts while I was growing up that other people didn't seem to have. And for example, when I was about 12 or 13, I started thinking about how God created the Bible and by inspiring people to write it and organize it. And then I thought, well, who created science? And the answer to that seemed to be pretty clear and obvious. And that was that God created science. And because he created the universe and all that's in it. When I was a sophomore in high school, uh, it was time for me to take biology. And before I decided to take it, I asked some other students who had already taken it what was entailed in the class and what were the requirements. And they responded that one of the requirements was to, for several weeks, to dissect frogs. And I didn't really get excited about that. It really didn't
Right.
appeal to me. So I elected to take botany instead. Well, when I took botany, I learned a very important lesson. And that lesson was that all plant life, that's all plant life, is organized in 7 categories or levels of categories and starts with kingdom, phylum, class, order, down to the most specific level of species.
I never knew
Well,
that.
that was very interesting. And but later in life, I learned that all animal life is also classified by the identical categories, kingdom, phylum, down to the most specific species. Well, then it struck me, if all plant life and all animal life are so well organized, that cannot happen by accident, that cannot happen by random, it
Okay.
must be by design. And the third factor that inspired me to write the book was that all my life, everybody said there's no proof that God exists. There's no evidence of that. So I decided to find out for myself. Well, instead of uh, writing maybe a personal testimony or that other people had already written, or try to write something about the Bible or biblical teachings, I really didn't
Okay.
want to do that. I wanted to find something more neutral, and that was science. So
Well, that
I
leads me into my
wrote
next question then. It's
the
perfect.
story.
Perfect. How does the Bible and science then say the same thing?
Well, for example, there are ways that you talk about creation. Let's take that example.
Okay.
Uh, the earth was created according to the Bible in 7 or 6 days, and God rested on the seventh. Well, a lot of people seem to think, well, that happened pretty fast, and the earth has only been around about six
20
thousand years or
So
something
we
like
think it
that.
was
And
24 hours, 7 days.
yeah, it was 24-hour days. And I felt that science must understand that God does not live by a human timetable. If God is the creator of the universe, his sense of understanding of time must be far greater, far superior than a human's
Sure.
knowledge of time. So a day for God is probably millions, if not billions of years. And so each day is a billion years old, for example. And so that's why, for example, the two say the same thing.
How does the anatomy of our bodies prove God's existence?
Well, as I was just pointing out, all life, plant life and all animal life is organized in those 7 different categories: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. So when you have that kind of organization, I think that in itself proves the existence of God
Now,
because it indicates direction.
okay. Putting that all together, tell us about your theory of how God, all life, and then evolution, how that all comes together.
Well, my theory is that all life is either directed or it's non-directed.
Okay.
There can't be any other way it should be. You can't say it's 50% directed and 50% non-directed, because if you say that, then you raise the question, well, why doesn't, if it's 50% non-directed, why isn't it all directed, or vice versa? And so therefore, when you say it's directed, I say that life must be directed, because I think we are evolving over time, and we're developing more and more knowledge about our existence and about and developing our skills to handle the medical and scientific advances, and all that's development, all that's a direction, and all that is organization. So that kind of organization doesn't exist just by accident. And if it did happen that it was all life was non-directed, that would have to mean that it must deviate in every direction conceivable. That would mean humans would be born with 2 heads or 3 eyes, or a couple of hearts, or maybe 4 legs or something like that, and animals too. And maybe if you planted corn, you would get potatoes instead. That's the kind of thing that must happen if it's not directed. And so that's why I say that all life must be directed or it's not directed. And my conclusion is it's pretty clear it's directed.
Gary, where can we find your book, God's Existence, Truth or Fiction, The Answer Revealed? Where is it available?
Well, it's available in your main online bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or you can actually go to my website, GaryRLindberg.com. That's GaryRLindberg.com. Click on the book of choice and scroll down and click on the bookstore of your choice, including even local bookstores, which might even sell it at a discount even more than Amazon. And you can do it that way. You can go to GMAP.com and click on the featured authors and click on the book of choice that I've written, and it takes you right to the needed place for you to order the book.
Great. What's next for you now as an author, Gary?
I beg your pardon?
What is next for you as an author?
What's next for me? Well, first I want to promote my 2 books that I've written, and God's Existence, Truth or Fiction, The Answer Revealed, and The Vegetable Grows and The Lion Roars, my Peace Corps service. And in addition to that, I'm now doing some research and organization trying to come up with a 3rd book, which would be a sequel to the first book that we just talked about.
Great. Well, I appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Gary R. Lindberg, author of God's Existence, Truth or Fiction, The Answer Revealed. Gary, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. You gave me a lot of insight. Hopefully our listeners and viewers have gotten a lot of insight too. And make sure you get a chance to go and pick up Gary's book. I think you can get more insight into God's existence.
Well, thank you, Robert. I thank you for the time you've taken to talk with me. I appreciate it very much. It's great to talk with you, and I'm looking forward to bigger and better things in the future for both of us.
Well, I appreciate that a lot, Gary. Thank you very much again for your time. Appreciate you as a person and what you do for everyone else in regards to writing these books and educating them about our Lord Jesus. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'm Robert
God's
Allen.
Existence, Truth or Fiction, The Answer Revealed, written by author Gary R. Lindberg, is a scientific study about the proof of God's existence. Lindberg examines scientific theories about the origin of life and the Bible's creation story. His approach is different, as he suggests that both science and the Bible say the same thing. Lindberg offers a powerful theory for readers to contemplate while presenting a unique conclusion. God's Existence, Truth or Fiction, The Answer Revealed is now available at your favorite online bookstore.